Have you ever really stopped to think about the invisible network that gets, well, everything to you? From the device you're watching this on to the package that shows up at your door. In this explainer, we're going to pull back that curtain.
You know that feeling, right? You click one little button online, and then, almost like magic, a box just appears on your doorstep. But behind that incredibly simple click is this vast, high-speed technological ballet that literally keeps our world moving.
And the secret to all this magic? It's a system that allows physical objects, every single box, every pallet, every item on a shelf, to communicate. It lets them tell us where they are, what they are, and exactly where they need to go next. It's like we've given every object its own digital voice. Okay, so let's dig into what really happens behind that buy button. Honestly, the best way to picture this whole system is to think of it as the nervous system for the entire supply chain. It's constantly sensing and communicating information in real time. Now, the official name for this is AIDC, which stands for Automatic Identification and Data Capture. Just think of it as a whole family of technologies that act as the essential bridge, connecting all the physical stuff in the world to the digital systems that manage its journey. So, how does it all work? Well, it boils down to this really simple but powerful three-step process. First, you identify a physical thing. Second, you automatically capture data about it. And third, you use that data to inform the digital brains of the operation. Things like the cloud or a warehouse management system, which is basically the software that runs the whole show inside a distribution center. Now, AIDC isn't just one thing. It's a whole toolkit. And just like any good toolkit, you've got to know which tool to pull out for which job. Let's take a look at the main players here. And this brings us to a really fundamental choice. On one side, you have the good old barcode. We've all seen them. They're super cheap, incredibly reliable, and perfect for scanning one item at a time. But on the other side, you have RFID, which uses radio waves. With RFID, you don't need to see the tag to read it. You can scan hundreds of items inside a box all at once, which gives you just unbelievable speed and visibility. Just getting an idea is powerful, for sure, but modern automation needs more than that. I mean, what if a robot needs to know not just what an object is, but its exact orientation, its precise position in 3D space? For that, you need eyes. And this is where AI-powered vision systems come into play. We're talking about smart cameras and incredibly intelligent software that can actually see and understand the world in 3 dimensions. They can check if a pallet is stacked safely, or tell a robotic arm the exact 3D position of an object it needs to grab, all with mind-blowing accuracy. So, grabbing all this data is one thing, but the real magic happens when you plug it all into a bigger brain. So, let's see how that raw data gets turned into actual smart decisions. You can kind of see how this whole ecosystem works together here. A mobile scanner in someone's hand captures data and shoots it up to the cloud. That data feeds into the warehouse management system, which is keeping track of all the inventory. The WMS might then tell a PLC, that's a programmable logic controller, basically the little computer that runs a conveyor belt or a machine, to do something based on what a vision system is seeing. See? Everything is talking to everything else. But of course, when you have billions of objects constantly chattering away, communicating their status, you create this enormous stream of really valuable data. And that, naturally, introduces a huge new challenge. How do you keep it all secure? To handle this, engineers use some pretty advanced techniques. They can use things like blockchain to create tamper-proof digital ledgers, so there's always an undeniable record of who did what. They use really powerful encryption to protect the data itself, and even clever data management tricks to handle the massive volume of information both securely and efficiently. Okay, so that's all the theory, but what does all this tech actually do for us in the real world? Let's talk about the impact. All right, first up, retail. We have all been there. The website says that shirt is in stock, but when you get to the store, it's nowhere to be found. This is a massive headache for retailers trying to sell stuff both online and in person. The solution? Put a tiny RFID tag on every single item. And the results are just dramatic. When retailers get that real-time item-level visibility, those frustrating out-of-stock moments just plummet. They know exactly what they have and where it is. And that means happier customers and a much, much smoother operation. Next, let's head inside the warehouse. The huge challenge here is making automation, especially those big robotic arms, both safe and accurate. You just can't have a robot dropping a heavy pallet. The answer, as we've seen, is giving those robots the gift of sight.
And the precision we're talking about is just incredible. Modern AI vision systems can figure out an object's position and its orientation down to the centimeter. That is the secret sauce that unlocks safe, reliable, and super efficient robotic automation. And finally, let's look at a really high-stakes example: healthcare. Managing critical supplies like units of blood is incredibly complex. You absolutely have to prevent waste, avoid any errors, and make sure you can trace everything. By combining RFID tags on each unit with a smart AI system, hospitals can do exactly that. Wastage goes down, response times in an emergency get shorter, and the benefits, both for the hospital and for patients, are just enormous. So you see, the impact across all these different industries is massive. But it all comes back to making a smart, strategic choice. Which tool, or maybe which combination of tools, is the right one for this specific job?
The truth is, there's no single best solution. Every single project has to balance these key questions. What's the cost for each tag? How far away do you need to be to read it? How tough does it need to be to survive in a freezer or a factory? And a big one, how hard is it going to be to plug this into all the systems you already have? Answering those questions is what leads you to the right mix of tech. And ultimately, it really does all come back to this one core idea. AIDC is that essential data capture layer. It's the sensory network that allows our digital world to finally understand and to manage our physical world. Which, it leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. We're building a world where nearly every single object has the power to communicate with us. So the real question for the future is, what new and incredible things are we going to ask them to say?